Okay, let's continue doing good work. In the R3 approach, we continuously point out realities about the game. And one of the realities is that genuinely improving at the game of golf is not an easy thing to do. We have to begin with the end in mind and create a plan, create an approach that encompasses the blending of mechanical aspects having to do with the club, together with physical aspects having to do with our body, and then together with tactical aspects having to do with our mind. Well, if we are truly beginning with the end in mind, like perspective number one directs us to, we're beginning with our mind and not our body. So in the R3 approach, we have an overall strategy. We call it a mission statement of sorts. the mission statement states that we'll need to continuously do good work, developing our golf game to the point where it can be seen and felt. And seen and felt kind of points toward the fact that it's a consciousness, that we actually have a belief that is both seen and felt by the outside observer as well as ourselves, for that matter, in terms of where we stand in terms of our ability to play the game. Well, in order to do this, we have to understand what being mechanically sound is all about. We have to understand what being physically athletic is all about. And then obviously we have to understand what being tactically fluid with our process for playing the game. It boils down to our process for playing the game. Well, this strategy is going to be backed up by four supporting goals, or the tactics, our tactics in the R3 approach. It has to do with, again, the first tactic, or the first goal, is going to be our intention to elevate our belief system, which is ultimately our consciousness as a golfer. Well, we know that in order to raise this consciousness as a golfer, we're again going to have to know what being mechanically sound, having a mechanically sound and repeating golf swing and stroke motion truly is all about. Well, this has to do with perspective number two in the R3 approach. So in terms of understanding what mechanically sound truly means, we'll go to perspective number two, the information in the R3 approach relative to what being mechanically sound is all found in perspective number two. And then following that, our third objective, our third goal, our third tactic is to understand what a physically athletic swing and stroke motion truly is. Well, this has to do with our body. The athletic factor is very important to the overall process, obviously. So when we're thinking about how our body is going to support the mechanics of our swing, we're going to go to perspective number three in the R3 approach. Perspective number three has to do with the physical aspect of how our body is going to support the mechanics of the swing. So collectively, the mechanical stuff and the physical stuff relative to genuinely improving at the game is all found on the what axis, that is perspectives number two and three. And then ultimately, we're going to need to understand a little bit better the tactical process of mistake reduction when we play. Obviously, law number one in the R3 approach, taking what we've got and making it work to the best of our ability, is very much a function of how we're thinking, how our attitude is going to affect how we play, and how we're able to handle the mental and emotional processes that are going on during the round. So perspective number four, the tactical perspective, is directed right at our mind, the control center, and how we're ultimately going to handle the mental and emotional processes that we experience during a round of golf. And it's perspective number four that will lead us back up to perspective number one, which is where we began the whole process. We began with the end in mind of having the ability to play in the zone. And as we point out in the R3 approach, in order to have more zone experiences, we need to be as prepared as we can be from all four perspectives. So collectively speaking, we're beginning with the end in mind by identifying the facts, setting the goal, having the mission of being mechanically sound, physically athletic, and tactically fluid when we play the game of golf. As we go about building these processes, we will follow the four tactics that have to do with the four perspectives found in the R3 approach. So it's a lot of fun. Again, we talk about the whole process of teeing up the R3 approach involves our creating some thought, provoking some thought, stimulating and generating some enthusiasm, and then correctly and sufficiently directing our efforts throughout the whole process. So the journey of genuinely improving at the awesome and peculiar game of golf is a lot of fun to do, and the R3 approach kind of sets out a good path for us in terms of achieving precisely this. Okay, let's explore the R3 approach together and have a lot of fun pursuing genuinely improving at the awesome and peculiar game of golf.